Hello, my name is Tim Garretts and I'm the Robotics Director at Sarah Hines House. Today I would like to show you how to make a paper airplane. It's a paper airplane design that I really like. Looks like this. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to explain the different parts of it that make it fly well. Alright, let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a crease down the center, like that. Whenever you make your creases, make sure they line up very well so there's no overlap on the corners. So we get that first crease done. Now we're going to go onto this side and we're going to make two creases. One's going to be like that. We're going to have another one just like it on the other side. So one corner of the crease is the very front, and we want this to line up like that. So there's one side, and we're going to do this other triangle over here. Like that. Now when we open it up, we have a triangle. This is probably very similar to a lot of paper airplanes that you've made in the past. And the next move that we're going to make, though, maybe a little bit different. We're going to fold it over like that. So I'm going to make a crease that's right along here. Also note that these flaps right here, we're folding them in, covering them up. The point going to be right along the center line of that crease that we made before. Okay, now once we got that, our next folds are going to be like this and like this. I'll make some marks to help you out. The corner is not going to go down to the tip of this corner. It's going to be a little bit up like that. It's going to be about a ½ an inch off. We're going to have both the corners meet right there. And what that means is it's not going to have a pointy tip. It's going to have kind of a flat front to it. So I make a crease here. Make sure this lines up. And crease it down like that. Now I'm going to do the other side. Make sure that these corners line up with each other. And then it'll be a symmetric plane. Okay, now that we have this, we're pretty close. This might look like a paper airplane that you're used to. But the thing is, these flop like this. Now, the reason why there's this triangle sticking out because this will hold them in place. So I fold this triangle up over the corners. Now, whenever I bend it like this, it holds those flaps in place. Okay, two more folds and we're done. So I'm going to lay it on its side like this. The next fold is going to make the wings. This is where you can start to get creative because you can decide how big you want the wings and how big you want the body of the airplane. The fold is going to be something like that. So this is going to be wing, and this is going to be the body. But you get to decide how large you want the wings. I'll make a crease over here. And like that. That turned out well. I'm going to flip it over. Do the same thing over here. And the important part is that they match. You can make them different sizes, but you want to make the second one the same size as the first. So now I fold it over and I get the wings. So here is my nearly finished plane. You see it has a couple changes I still have to make to it. One is it's not going to fly very well when it's a triangle like this. So one thing we need to do is we need to bend up the wings like that, so we have a Y shape. Now the reason we make this Y shape is because whenever it starts to wobble back and forth, starts to roll, if the wings are down like this, it's not going to have any lift whenever it goes, and it's going to fall. So we want to have it like this, so whenever it starts to roll, it still has lift and can float comfortably. Now the other change that we want to make is whenever we have the paper airplane flying along, then gravity wants to bring it down in the ground like that. So we need to put something on here so that it keeps the nose up. So what we can do is we take just a little bit of a bend on the tips like that. A little bit of a bend like that. And then now what happens whenever it starts to, when the nose starts to go into the ground, then this catches the air and helps pull it back up. Okay, one of the adjustments you can make to this plane is you can actually turn it into a boomerang plane by bending these up in different ways. So on this one, if I bend this one up more, this corner up, more than this side, then whenever it catches the air, it's actually going to boomerang and come back to me. I'll see if I can get a video of that later for you. But I have talked about some of the forces involved in this. I talked about lift and roll. So I want to mention a little bit more about that. So whenever a plane is going through the air, whether it's a paper airplane or a regular plane, there are 4 forces that are usually working on it. It's flying through there like this. Thrust is the force pushing it forward. Drag is the resistance of the air slowing it down. Lift is the force that's keeping it up in the air, pushing it up, and that's countering the weight of the plane, which is constantly trying to pull it down. The other forces that I talked about, or the other forces that are movement that you have to think about with aircraft or spacecraft is pitch, roll, and yaw. So I talked about roll. That's why you have the wings up in a Y. This is roll. Remember, it goes sideways. And these right here correct for pitch. So pitch is whenever the plane pitches down, the nose goes up or the nose goes down. This is a different movement. And yaw, we didn't really talk about this in this video, but yaw is whenever it spins sideways like this. You really don't want that with a plane. Thanks for joining me for this STEM video, and I will see you next week with another fun activity. Have fun making some paper airplanes and see if you can make one that does a boomerang by bending up the corners like I showed you. Have a good afternoon.